Hello. Hi, I'm sorry everybody. I couldn't get into the place where I posted the live video to be at. And then on top of that, I just finished bath time and chucking children into bed. So I'm here as promised. Late, but I am here. Hello, hello, hi everybody, hello. I see everybody chiming in. I see everybody coming in here. This is great. Hi, great. Okay, give me 2 seconds, 1 second. I'm just grabbing spray, rag. Okay. My counter, I don't like it. And I know you guys can't see it, but I can see it. I want to wipe it off. Okay. Perfect. Boom. All right, so I have my notes. What we're going to go over. I was excited. Hashtag Mom Life. Yes. Everybody say, hey, best friends. My best friend, Unique. Thank you for keeping the chat live and the other chat. My bad. But she was like, where are you, bruh? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. You always want to catch me live? I'm here. So if you guys haven't noticed, I have not been live in a hot minute. Okay. Actually, yeah, I was live I think last week, but I haven't like been my consistent live like I usually am when I do the Fix It Friday or Fake It With Me on Fridays and Thursdays, and I'm here. I'm doing it live just for you guys. I am bringing back Fix It Friday. Welcome back to More Cake. Yes, ma'am. Badass Nova Art. This is another night of Fix It Friday. We're going to go over some wedding cake tips and ideas and contracts. Voila. I made sure that in here, in the description, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I put my website, More Cake, right? Yeah. I put my website where you can go to it, and then if you click on the Patreon link on my website, it will take you over to my Patreon, and you will notice that there is a post there that says wedding cake tips and contract. If you click on that, that's where you can get my contract. But you have to be a patron to get my contract. My patrons will get this for free. So sign up to be a patron in order to get my contract, in order to get first dibs on new tutorials, in order to get exclusive tutorials, tool list, pricing guide. I go over pricing guide with my patrons. So become a patron. It's worth it, I promise you. Okay, so let's go over a couple of things. Oh, girl, you have belts. Who are you talking about? Oh, you talking about somebody having, oh, you got 23 and 19. Oh, yeah, child, them grown people. Okay, my name is Jelena, if you don't know. Hello, I come on every so often and I do lives and I try to teach you guys a little something or fix something for you or help you guys out. Because sometimes you guys don't have the ability to test things out, so then you can watch me test things out, and if I screw it up, then you know what not to do. Because there's a lot of times that I screw things up, so yeah. But when I screw things up, that's just, you know, I'm just 50% there now. Now I just need to make sure I get it right the next time. So make sure you guys always tune in. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well, which is that little bell that pops up when you hit subscribe. And you'll be notified every time I come live, every time I post a new tutorial. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on my YouTube channel. And Friday, I'm not going live. So make sure you guys check out my latest videos I did yesterday. I did a fault line cake, which was super fun to do. And I used GCC confection sprinkles. Make sure you guys use her 20% off coupon code. All you have to do is type in yes, ma'am, to get 20% off the Don't Make Me Blush and the House Party sprinkles. Those two sprinkle mixes, you get 20% off. So let's just jump right into it, yeah? Let's get started. Okay, so let me first ask this question in the chat. How many of you have done wedding cakes? Let's ask that question. I need to write lyrics on my cakes. I do need to write lyrics on my cakes. Like, you guys see the calligraphy I do sometimes? I should write lyrics on my cakes. I mean, a calligraphy tutorial will be coming out. Me teaching you guys how to do calligraphy. But maybe it should be lyrics. That would be fun. That would be fun. I should definitely do. I have, okay, Duke. Duke coming back in the house with the cake. Okay. Okay, LaShonda, I have. Okay. So let me ask this question out there for all of you who have done cakes for weddings. Just specifically, we're talking about weddings today. What have you found to be the most stressful thing, or the most annoying thing, or the hardest thing, or something you may not get right when it comes to doing wedding cakes? What is this curl hanging out back here? Dealing with the mother-in-law. Oh, child, yeah. Now, what I've noticed is when I ever did wedding cakes, the stressful thing for me was how to stop stressing an outdoor wedding. I was just about to say that. Is doing like summer weddings. Those are hot. And I partially grew up in Florida and then here in Georgia. And these summers are not cool at all. They are hot, and more humid and hot, and then it rains, and then it's hot, and it's hot, and it's hot. There's nothing good about it. Like, just the heat. I hate that. That drives me nuts. I would say, because I'm planning to do a tier cake in the month, like a wedding cake, the part I'm stressing about is the buttercream and the stacking. Okay, I can tell them I can't guarantee the structure of the cake after a certain temp. Yeah, that's true too. So, just to hit on your 2 points, because I want to make sure I'm hitting on you guys' points that you get what you're struggling with. So when it comes to temperature, which is what I dread the most, right? I hate that. So when it comes to summer weddings, I advise my clients that, hey, is your wedding going to be inside or outside? It's going to be inside, great. So I'm going to drop off the cake at this time. Now you need to make sure wherever it is indoors that it needs to be nice and cool. It's getting nice and cool for sure, because at the end of the day, this is just flour, water to make some sort of bread concoction to put together with some type of sugar in a fluff, buttercream, aka cake, and those things fall apart and melt within heat. And when there's a lot of people crowded, the room could be air conditioning. A lot of people, it causes even more heat and more heat on top of heat. It drives me insane. I once had a cake that started to pieces started to fall off. It wasn't a wedding cake, but pieces started to fall off because how hot it was. They had it in that room. They didn't even have the temperature on cool. It was like warm as hell. So I would advise my customer, hey, make sure that the location where your cake is going to be at is getting enough cool air. Now, if you're having an outdoor wedding, I suggest that you have a place where the cake can sit before you get it cut. Because this cake can't sit out in the heat that long because things are going to just start falling off. It's just gravity and science, don't blame us, blame, whoever made those things. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure you inform your customer as much as you can about that you can't control the weather. Even if like a thunderstorm came all of a sudden, you need to let them know that, hey, around this time, it's, in Florida, August, late July and August are rainy seasons and hurricane season. So who the hell wants to have a wedding outside then, right? Or even have a wedding during that time at all at the end of July and all of August. It's rainy season. We're going to have hurricanes running back and forth. So you want to make sure that you also, not just your client, are making sure you're picking the right date for your creations. Because the last thing you want to do is stress about weather when you know what the weather is supposed to be during that time and you've taken a cake order. And that's just in general. Like I don't like having to do cakes and having to sit them outside. I let my customer know, I'll drop them off like 30 minutes before you guys saying happy birthday or before you want to cut the cake. So, or even if your bride is like, well, I want the cake there so my photographer can take pictures of the room. That's fine, I can bring the cake. But then I need a place, or the outside area, I need a place to put the cake while you're over there saying your I-dos, because this cake is just going to die. So, conversation is your best, I don't want to say medicine, that sounds so stupid. Just having a conversation with your customer is the best thing that you can possibly do, because being open and honest, I even have that in my contract where I say, as long as you're open and honest with me, I'm going to be open and honest with you. Don't hide from me information, because that's just going to mess everything up. I'm missing some things. Sorry, I'm missing things. I tell them I can't, okay, so yes, summer weddings, they cream, oh wait, sorry, I have these. 'Cause y'all heard. What was the last thing you guys heard me say? Because I was rambling and I had no idea I had stalled. And that's probably because there's about to be a big old thunderstorm coming. You were talking about cream cheese. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not doing no cream cheese. I guess that's what my point was. Okay, so oh, and yeah. Okay, so going to Green Meadows, comment about what she's stressing about, or he, sorry, I'm not sure if you're she or he. What you're stressing about is the buttercream and the stacking. Now, my thing is that I would, if the cake is super tall for the wedding cake, or even if it's really short, I would stack at location. And what I like to do, I like to take a little kit with me when I go and do my deliveries, and this is just for any cake, not just wedding cakes. I take a little kit with some spatulas, some offset spatulas. I like to bring some extra cake boards, some extra dowels, scissors. I always have scissors in my car, no matter what. I don't even have to go nowhere. I got scissors in my car. Because you never know when you gotta cut the ribbon. Because no matter where you go, you know you're the cake lady. Like you go to a family function, and they're like, you're the cake lady. You have to have scissors. Just have, I don't know why. You just have to have them. I get asked to do things all the time, and so scissors have saved my life to have in the car. I like to have extra tape with me if I need it. I also, if my cake is really intricate, I want to make sure I have those little tools to kind of get to those intricate details. I always have extra fondant, the same color that's on my cake. I have the extra ribbon that's on my cake. I have the hot glue gun, just in case and I have a little plug thing that I can plug in, like an outlet in my car. So I have that just in case I have to do things, and if I'm on a location that doesn't have electricity, my car does. So this is the main kit that I travel with. I travel with this to a lot of different states, and I travel with this on every cake order. It literally has all the things that I could possibly need to sculpt with and possibly help me make a cake. I have X-Acto knives. I have a little leveler. I have a measuring tape in here. I have a sharpener for my dowels, just in case I have to sharpen my dowels. Different tools and paint brushes in here. So I have this, and then like I said, I always bring my offset spatulas. I bring a scraper. I'm just pulling out, just opening this drawer just because that's what's in there. You know, any wire or any extra flowers that need to go on the cake. I have all of these extra things, and I like to carry maybe like one box of it. And get all that prepared before you leave the house, and maybe the day before, so you know what you're gonna need, right? You have all these extra things already, so I can assemble on location, right? Sometimes I'll bring one of my cheap little turntables just in case I have to do that. I have put videos out there on Instagram Live sometimes, or Instagram Stories, where you've seen me create and frost a cake on location for like a photo shoot. I've done that several times. Oh, okay. My best friend's texting me. She's saying that I should make this cake emergency list free, and I guess I will. Good idea. Everybody say thank you, best friends. She just hooked you guys up. I will go ahead and on my Patreon, when you guys go to it later on tonight, maybe a few hours after the live is over, I'll go back and I'll give you guys a emergency checklist that you guys should take with you on every cake order, not just wedding cake orders. What tools do I recommend a new cake baker to have? A turntable. Any turntable will do. You just need a turntable. It doesn't need to be super expensive, super flashy. A turntable. Silicone, not silicone. The little rubbery mats that you can get these at the dollar store and cut them up yourself, or you can get like a silicone mat, and that's to put under your cake when you're frosting it. A scraper. Now this is my high-end scraper with my logo on it, but I don't recommend you get a high-end scraper. I recommend you get one of these from Home Depot. This costs about $3 and some change, okay? Just to scrape your cake so your butter can be nice and smooth. You want to have large offset spatula and a mini offset spatula, and at least 2 of these fondant smoothers. Those are probably the only tools I would say you should have. And obviously like cake boards for your cake and stuff like that. But with this, those are the only things. Only thing. When I started doing cake, I didn't even have a circle cutter. I was cutting out circles using a cup. And I was using knives in my kitchen. And the only reason I say that that's the only thing you guys need, because that's really the extra things. It's not the extra things that will help you with the basic stuff. To invest any more of your money, if you don't know if you have an actual business on your hand, would be ridiculous. You don't want to go out there spending all your money on 1,000 cookie cutters, 1,000 knives, 1,000 X-Acto blades, 1,000 different tools, and you don't even know what you want to make. I would have an idea of how to do cakes and get kind of rock into it and get into it and see what your flow is, and then start to invest in some more expensive tools. Because at the end of the day, I have a giant box in my trunk that I'm trying to get rid of, and all it is filled with cookie cutters that I've had to use in the last 12 years. Oh, the only cookie cutters I have is in this tiny little drawer right here at the top. And really, the majority of them are circle cutters and square cutters. Because I really make everything else by hand. So, that's my advice. Get the basic. Spatulas, fondant smoother, a scraper, turntable. That's pretty much it. That's all you need. Okay. Oh yeah, and a stand mixer, right? You don't need no stand mixer. Do not invest in no stand mixer if you aren't if you don't even know what you're trying to do. You get yourself one of them little $10 hand mixers, will do you just fine. Because I'm all about money and time. Okay? If you're spending more money than you have, then you're wasting it. If you don't have the time to even use these tools, then you're wasting it. So don't waste your time and don't waste your money. First figure out if this is the business for you. Because you'll get into it and maybe be into it for 2 months and go, I bought all this shit, now I don't want it. And I've seen people do that. They bought a whole bunch of crap and then all of a sudden they go, but I don't want to do this anymore. You know, so I would say figure it out. What you're trying to do, stay focused, try to get a couple of cake orders, figure out even how to do a cake, how to frost a cake, and then see what you're missing. Because it's easy to come on this live and me sell you guys some random shit, and you guys, oh yeah, I need that because that's how I'm gonna do. She does great cakes, so I need my cake to look like her because I need to buy that tool. I will never sell you guys some shit that I wouldn't think is worth it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the only thing I think is worth it is a turntable that you can get from $12 from Michael's Arts and Craft. You use a 40% off coupon code, 50% if you get lucky. Spatulas, which, you know, every kitchen has spatulas, but offset spatulas to frost your cake, and the fondant smoother. And obviously the little silicone mat, and that's not even that important either because you can use rag. So I'm telling you guys the least expensive things that you need. The least expensive things. These things make it easier, but what I'm saying is you guys need to go through the roughness, because this easy life, you're gonna get this stuff, you're gonna notice your cakes still don't look as good as you want them to look. So figure out how you can make them look good without this easy stuff, and then move on. Because I don't ever recommend people using their money that they don't have to use. Now that I've drawn that point too long, let's get into the topics we're going to be talking about. So we're going to talk about tasting and doing your tasting. We're going to talk a little bit about pricing, very small amount. I'm not going to get into too much because I have a hands-on pricing class called Pricing with Confidence that I do. I have no classes this year, so please don't ask. I will not be teaching that class the rest of this year. I've taught it like 6 times this year and like 10 times last year. So the rest of the year, no more hands-on classes, but we're going to talk about a little bit of the price, just a very small amount. And we're going to talk about how you're going to find your customers. So those are the 3 main topics that we're going to touch base on that I find the most helpful information in, because some people, those are the questions that I notice a lot of people have. So tastings. I'm missing conversation. Y'all just real talking in here. Hold on. Okay. Yes, I carry a tackle box with everything I need. Ooh, tackle boxes are good. I used to have a tackle box. They're real cheap when they broke. So now I just get a box and throw everything in there. Speaking of tools, I'm reading everything you guys are saying. Turntable, rubber mat, scraper, large offset. Yep. Thank you for writing that in the comments. Hello, where did you find the little leveler? I think I found it at the dollar store. The dollar store, Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store is your best friend. Go to a dollar store, Dollar General. They normally have an aisle with like tools where your battery where you can get batteries and stuff like that. And they'll have like spatulas there. for painting, and they'll have levelers there. So I got that little leveler. I think it came in like a little kit or something like that. I learned to decorate cakes at Michael's in 2005. Oh wow. Yes, I burned out so many images starting out. Now I have to do a K Pro 600. Okay, girl. That sounds fancy. A KA Pro 600. I always wanted to take a Michael's Arts and Crafts class, and then I ended up becoming an instructor for their cake classes, and I was an instructor for like that long because I didn't really like their method. So they teach, the way they teach is you have to do it this way. It's the only way, and I don't really like that. So, yeah, I stopped doing that. And if I would have done the class, you can't, like I would have had to wash my mouth, and I'm a bad employee, let's just say that. So I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Alright, so let's talk about tastings. So with tastings, now let's talk about where you're going to do your tasting at, because a lot of people go, well, I live here and I don't want to have to like clean up my home and have people over or strangers in my house. That's totally understandable. That is up to you, your choice, you decide. Where I live right now, I would not have people over for a tasting if I was to do a wedding cake again. And that the only reason is because where we moved to is such a small home that I live in, and there's not a lot of space, so it's kind of like I can't hide my children somewhere and be like, hey, go over there so I can focus on this. No, they're like in your face. So some great places that you can go to besides doing it from in your home, go to a coffee shop around the corner. You can go to a bookstore that may have tables outside or tables inside. The coffee shops normally, they're really good, especially one with Wi-Fi. You want to make sure it has Wi-Fi. They're normally really okay with just leaving you alone. Just go ahead and order, maybe some drinks, some water for your clients that are coming, your possible clients that will be coming. And they'll leave you alone. You can bring in or even sit out on the patio with your samples that you may have for them. And a lot of bakers, what I've noticed, which I've never done this, but I've seen a lot of bakers, they do take-home boxes where if maybe the client can't spend time sitting down and discussing with you, some type of cake ideas or whatever, then you can just go, okay, well, let me put some flavors in a box, and it can be a take-home box for you. You can take home, get back to me with your notes and your ideas on what you think your flavors are, and boom. You know what I mean? You're good. They don't necessarily have to taste the cakes right then and there. They can taste them so that way they don't have to waste your time and taste them in front of you and go, well, I don't really like this. You know what I mean? So this way, they tasted them, they get back to you. So those are some ideas. I would definitely maybe even look into a close friend's home that maybe, because a lot of us, and if you don't know me and you've never seen my live before, I'm going to tell you the real, I'm not going to bullshit you. Some of you may feel embarrassed about where you live. Or some of you may feel like you don't want to share your home with your clients. And that's okay. You don't have to share your home with your clients. My thing is maybe reach out to a friend that you feel like their home is maybe a little more nicer, and maybe you can use their dining room for a moment. I've done taste. I used to live in a 1-bedroom studio, very small, tiny, with a dog and my man. It was very small. And I've done a tasting in there one time. It was middle of the day. I made him take the dog away, go, so that way I can do my tasting. And then I've also held tastings at my parents' home. I ran all the way to my parents' house with all the stuff I needed in order for me to do a tasting, because at the time I was like, my apartment is so tiny, I don't want people to see where I'm living, and I don't want them coming in and judging me, So I did it in my parents' giant home. So, sometimes you can reach out to friends for that. Or also, like I said, coffee shop or the neighborhood bookstore. There's a lot of places around that you can check out. Even Barnes and Nobles, you can check out. They always have tables and stuff like that. I've done meetings at Barnes and Nobles, never had a problem, never had an issue, and brought samples, never had a problem, never had an issue. I'm gonna make sure I'm hitting if you guys are saying anything. Oh, and you have to buy the tools. Yes, about Michael's. Yeah, a lot of customers I've seen, not seen, but from what I've heard from other cake decorators, is that they do like the idea of taking the to-go tasting box home. Because sometimes they don't want they want to discuss in private what they like, and they want to be comfortable. That's fine too. That's kind of a new school thing, not an old school thing. That's a new thing that a lot of people are doing. I quite frankly have never done that. I've always had my tastings face to face, and there's one reason for that, which we're gonna get to. So I gotta cross things out as we talk about them, so that way I don't repeat what I said. Where do we meet at? Yes. Okay, so say for example, we're gonna meet in our home, okay? Now, you wanna make sure that your tasting prep is on point because you're getting judged the moment the customer walks through the door, or probably even beforehand, okay? So some of the tasting preps that I like to do is one, I need to exchange at least 2 emails with my customer. And the reason I say that is because the last thing I'm going to do is book an appointment with my customer. My customer is going to get in front of me and then tell me they're not my type of customer because they can't afford my cake, or they don't want to afford my cake, or they don't like the flavors I gave them, or they don't like my designs. So the 1 or 2 emails that you exchange with them beforehand, before the tasting, are things to fill them out. A couple of things like the wedding date and time, because why have your customer visit all the way to you for them to tell you a date that you already booked on, or you have personal things. So make sure you find out the date and the time before they step through the door. Find out the quantity of the wedding, because at the end of the day, a lot of us have minimums. I have a minimum. There has to be a minimum amount of people that I feed. So if you're telling me that this wedding's for 5 people, sweetie, I'm about to make you a cake for 20 people, whether you like it or not, and you're gonna pay for these 20 people, right? So if they tell you, well, I only need like a small cake, and they show up and tell you, I just need a little small cake, it's just me and him. No, girl, get out my face. I'm not wasting my time on that. Go to Publix. They can help you out. So that's only if you have a minimum. A lot of us are different. I'm just telling you the way that I saw things and the way that I made things easy for me. Flavors. You want to know what flavors they're into, right? Because if you find out that the groom is allergic to chocolate and you giving him 2 chocolate flavors, like you giving him a red velvet, which has chocolate in it, and then you give them a chocolate on chocolate. What are you supposed to do, right? Now they're in front of you, and it's like, he's going, well, I don't eat chocolate, so I can't have those. So I would find out their flavors that they like. So even if they go, well, what flavors do you have? No. What flavors are you looking for your wedding cake to have? Let them give you a good 1 or 2 options, maybe even 3, and you add on your 2 big flavors that a lot of people love. If you make the bomb-ass red velvet cake, then you put the bomb-ass red velvet cake right there on their sample plate, right? You add on to it because you want to give them not a lot of options, but you want to give them options. And the reason I say not a lot of options is because people don't know what they want. They don't. Y'all ever been in line at McDonald's? Sir, McDonald's has been here for 50 million years, and you don't know what the fuck you want to eat? How you not know what you want to eat? It's been the same stuff all the time. Unless you like Burger King, where they just added on some random ass tacos, which I just saw. But it's the same stuff. Why are we sitting here and going, I'm thinking the number 1. What do you think about the number 1? Is the number 1 good? Have you ever had those customers where they go, is the number 1 good? They're asking the register, is the number 1 good? What, do you recommend the number? It doesn't matter. Just get the number. It's the same number 1 you ate last week. Can we just order and hurry up? You don't want to give your customers too many options. Too many options leads to too many questions, which leads to too much longer that you in my face. And what I'm really trying to do is get the information from you, get you in here, taste it, love it, get paid, and get you out of my face. That's what, because at the end of the day, what am I about? Time and money. I am always about those 2 things. I don't like things wasting my time. So beforehand, these are things that should be in the email that you find out that you're exchanging with them. Also, design ideas, right? You want to know what their thoughts are on their wedding cake. Again, we're going to go over those things when my client gets here and we talk about it. But I still want to know, like, okay, if they tell me that they wanted a Halloween type of cake theme for their summer wedding, and I'm like, okay, that's not my style of cake, you know? And maybe, I'm just saying this for an example, this has never happened. But maybe I don't want to make something like that and put that in my portfolio, you know? Don't waste your time with having that client come to you and then you find out and you're kind of like, nah, girl, I ain't doing some shit like that. So get an idea of what they want, of what they feel. Make sure that you also inform your client when they show up to this tasting that what you're going to go over. We're going to go over some of this information. So I need to make sure you as my client is prepared. So when you come here, make sure you bring me pictures of your dress. Because as a wedding cake person, you are pretty much the last person they come to. Because they need to make sure they have everything set together before they come to you to tell you their design. Because the cake is supposed to accommodate and show off the rest of the wedding. It should fit the rest of the wedding. Okay? If they come to you and ask you for a purple cake, but the entire wedding colors are like yellow and blue, that purple cake don't match. Right? So they have to wait till they find out their colors, their flowers combination, their table settings, their centerpieces. So then they come to you and go, okay, these are the centerpieces. This is my wedding dress. These are my bridesmaids. Here are my flowers. So that way now you have some options and ideas to put on this wedding cake. I see the chat moving. Oh yeah, what y'all talking about? Oh, Unique Panera Bread. Yes, I've gone on a tasting with Unique Duke. We have went to Panera Bread. I sat at a different table, and I would have my headphones on. I didn't bother her. She was prepared. She came with her cake contract. She even had the cake contract in her email, which we'll talk about, so that way she can send it to them. All those things. I'm just reading all the things that you guys wrote. I'm real, that's what keeps me back coming back. Oh, thanks. Oh, Unique, you said my husband. Oh, yes. I'm not going to comment. I was about to see you about to get me in a conversation that I had to remember. I'm not about to say nothing. So, never mind. Never mind. Anyways, so, yeah, so make sure you exchange at least 1 or 2 emails with your customer to get all that information so you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting their time also, right? Gotta highlight that, we just talked about this. Okay, so samples and presentation. Now, that's a big deal. And this is something, if you guys go back, way back, I think 2-3 years ago, I did a cake, I was wearing the same exact shirt. I did a cake testing video on, what was that app called when I used to go live? I can't remember the app. Duke, what was the app called that we used to go live on? I can't remember the app. But we used to go live, and I talked about wedding cake tasting, and I showed pictures of a presentation that I had. And I like to keep it simple, okay? Real simple. I don't want to be complex. I don't want to have to go and have 50, and I am a very complex person, and I love to have, I am team too much. If I can have everything, I'll have everything. But when your client comes in, show them a couple of your cakes. Have them on display. Oh, good, you guys can see it. I'm like, I don't know if you guys can see it. Have them on display near the area. So say you're in your dining room because we're having this tasting in your home. Say we're in your dining room. Maybe you have some cakes at the end of the table so that way they can get an idea. Have your portfolio, a book of printed images that you have, or even what I like to do is have my iPad out and have my portfolio here and the pictures are changing. Okay? It's on a slideshow. So that way they can see some of this. Sorry. Oh, it starts with a P-I. It starts with a P, yes. And I cannot remember what the name is. Yeah, I can't remember the name, but it does start with a P. Yeah, a portfolio, it's a great thing to have with you. Whether it's hands-on or electronic, you want to have some sort of portfolio. Because maybe the only thing that this client has seen is a picture from their cousin's wedding that you did their cake, right? They haven't seen all the other things that you're capable of doing. And you want to be able to show them the plethora of different wedding cakes that you have done so they can get a little bit of an idea to go, oh, I actually like that texture. And I actually like this and I like that, right? So some of those things. So make sure you have a portfolio of some sort where they can see it out. And at their leisure, they can look at it, or you can give them time to say, hey, check out some of my work if you haven't seen it, and maybe you can get some ideas of what you like. And, so they know that you are capable of delivering their dream wedding cake. Okay? Because look at all these other dream wedding cakes I've done, ma'am. And that's going to get me to another topic, but hold on. And then your samples. Okay? Get a designated place. I know Duke, she used to have a designated plate that she went out and bought and had like a separator thing. It was like a long plate, and then I think it's separated in sections, right, Duke? That's what you had? I feel like that's what you had, if I remember correctly. I like to have, I had a, I still have it. It's a white plate, and it was just long, and I fit at least 2 to 3 flavors on there, and then I have like 3 other of those long white plates, just in case I needed to have more options. Yes, yeah. So hers was a white plate, and it had like sections where she was able to do that. I know a lot of people like to do their tasting where it's like, here's some cake with frosting, but then here's several other frosting options. I think that's really beautiful and pretty. I just don't like having to get extra stuff. Listen, here's my vanilla cake with my vanilla buttercream. Here's my chocolate cake with my chocolate buttercream. If you eat this vanilla cake and you go, oh, I want this chocolate with this vanilla, great. But I'm not going to give you vanilla and chocolate with each other. No, we're going to do vanilla with the vanilla buttercream. Sorry, I have that already. A vanilla with the vanilla and the chocolate with the chocolate. That's how my flavors work, right? So unless that's what they have previously asked for. But I don't want to give them a vanilla cake with vanilla buttercream and do like chocolate buttercream on the side, raspberry buttercream on the side. This, no. That, to me, that's too much. For you, that might be fine. For me, no. I need them to make a decision. Because I, quite frankly, could care less what flavor you choose. I just need you to choose a flavor, choose it fast, and don't change your mind. Because when you get into weddings, that's the nitpicking that starts, that nitpicking. And I'm like, I'm already a nitpicker. I can't have 2 of us nitpicking. So I need them to hurry up so I can do my work. And then also, have forks nearby, have water. Whether you want to do bottled water, a glass water, use nice glasses, okay? Don't use no plastic glass. Don't use plastic glass. And have these designated items. Meaning, this is plates and fork used only for tasting. Ain't for y'all to eat your steak dinner on when you come home, okay? Have cups that maybe you want to use just for tasting. Set those aside. You guys can go to Home Goods. You guys can go to, there's a store called At Home here in Georgia. I've never seen it anywhere else, but maybe you guys have it. Target always has things on clearance. Or else Walmart. I just got brand new dishes from Walmart that I love, absolutely love. So even Walmart has great dishes, and you're only buying maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of them, okay? You don't need a whole plethora, you don't need to spend $1 million. All right, don't put nothing on no paper plates, all right? Because wedding cakes are expensive. So if you're showing that you're broke, then they're gonna be like, then this cake better be cheap, and we don't want no cheap cake, because we want to be paid. Because what are we about? Time and money. At the end of this, I'll keep repeating that. So you want to make sure your presentation and your samples are pretty and on point. Make your samples simple. Simple. Not into like a heart shape. Don't be too extra. Simple. A nice square or rectangle slice. Real simple. Make sure it looks really nice. If you have to cut that cake 50 million times, get a nice slice, and that's fine. Get a nice slice. Don't do triangle slices, because that's not how they cut wedding cakes. For wedding cakes, they try to get more for their dollar, so they're cut in squares and small pieces. So that way you can get more rather than cutting a giant triangle. And then on top of that, a giant triangle, unless that you freeze the cake and cut it and it's nice and sharp, it's not going to be nice and sharp when you cut it, because that triangle is just going to wobble and fall down onto the side, and then it's not going to be too pretty. So do like nice square, keep it nice and clean. Forks, keep nice and clean. Napkins nearby. You want to have presentation, all about presentation. I wouldn't have any candles on, because the last thing I want to do is smell a vanilla candle or any type of scent candle, and I'm trying to eat this delicious cake in front of me. You don't want to have that. So make sure you're aware of what's around in your area. If you want to have flowers, that's fine too, but maybe not flowers directly near the bride and groom, because you don't know if they're allergic. Maybe flowers off to the side, and then so they can see a beautiful bouquet. But immediately in front of them should be all about business. Here's my portfolio, here's some cake, and here's some water. You welcome. Right here, this is what they should be focusing on. Everything else, meaning like some cake concepts here, some dummy cakes, beautiful flowers, any decor should be off the table, because you need this space to be clear so that her mind is clear and she has an idea of what she wants to do. Something else I like to have with me are color swatches, which is in my office. I didn't bring here. But if you go, which I've said this so many times on the live, if you go on the Okay, hold on. Let me finish this point before I forget it because I'm reading what y'all saying. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you go over there to the free paint in the paint section and get all those little free sample little pieces of paper, you get all those. Okay, you poke a hole through them. You go buy a little ring from Michael's Arts and Craft. You slip the ring through it, and now you have all these color ideas and paint samples that you can use for your customer. So when your customer gets here and you start talking about design ideas, they can go, well, I want blue. Because there's a funny story that I have, but I'm not going to tell it, but there's a funny story about this girl that I know that used to do cakes. And her customer was like that she wanted blue, but she didn't specify what color blue. So there's million color blues out there, okay? So this is a way for you to go to your customer and be like, there's a million, you can show them that, hey, okay, ma'am, I get it. You feel the overwhelmed. You don't get the blue color. Here's a bunch of blues I have. Which one do you feel is the best blue for you? So that way now your color sample, you can actually make the fondant or the buttercream the same color. You can color match, okay? Those are great ways because at the same time, because on the computer, the way a color looks on a computer is not necessarily how it prints out, right? So we want to make sure we have the color in front of us, something to hold. Make sure, again, you tell your customer before they show up, hey, I need you to be ready. Bring a swatch, bring some photos, bring some examples. If they want to bring pictures of cakes that they've seen that they like, that's fine too. I don't like copying cakes. I've been in that life before. I've done that when I started out because that's how you should start out. You should start copying cakes because that's the best way for you to understand and get an idea of how to do it, and then you start adding your own concepts later. So I'm not against people who start out and are copying cakes. I'm not against anybody copying cakes, really. But when a customer comes to me and says, hey, I want this cake right here, I let them know, like, well, you won't get this cake, but what I'll do is I'll pull out maybe one or two things that you like from this cake, but I'm going to make it my own. Because you came to me for my designs. You trusted my artwork. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I just let my customer know right off the bat. But you want some inspiration. You need some inspiration so you can have some ideas. Okay. Oh, and paper and notes. Those are great things to have on hand for you and your customer. Because there's some things that you may need to write down off to the side to kind of remember or get back. So important when it comes to weddings because we're touching base on the basic concept of your design. Here, this is going to be a focal point. A wedding cake is a focal point in the wedding, right? It's not just something off to the side. It's not another centerpiece. You know how many centerpieces there are? There could be 50 centerpieces, but there's only ever one wedding cake. One. So your job is important. And yeah, there's a groom cake, but you know, who really gives a shit about that anyways? Fuck everywhere. Color swatches. Okay, so this is what I found that's really important. I limit the amount of people that come on these tastings. Like, we're not going to do you, your mama, your mother-in-law, your future husband, your brother's woman, your bridesmaid, your best friend who made your bridesmaid because you had to make this cousin your bridesmaid. We're not doing 50 million people in here to come and taste your wedding cake. We're not doing that. Because you want to know what that's going to be? Oh, and grandma. Grandma got to come. Because grandma taught you how to bake. So she knows what cake should taste like. Hell no, we ain't bringing grandma in here. Grandma got too many ideas, too much. No, grandma, I love you, but you can't come. You can't come. So this is what you do. You limit the amount of people that can come. So you say my tastings are held for 3 people only. That's it. And let me start off by saying this also. A lot of people are intimidated by their customer. And they're intimidated by cake, but they get intimidated by telling their customer no. The most rewarding day for you will not be a customer who pays immediately, says I want a cake and pays you. No. The rewarding day is when you tell your customer no. Because they think that they're doing you a favor. They think by ordering from you, they're hooking you up. Because, I mean, it's not like you have a bakery, you're baking from home, right? That's the attitude that people will treat you as. But you need to remember, you are God in this, as far as cake. You are the cake God, okay? Don't let them try you like that. They come with respect. Ma'am, my tasting, and I just write it. I write it like I'm telling them and they have no option, they ain't got nothing. You can't come to me and say, well, I'm bringing 10 people. No, because I've already told you. This is how I'm telling you. What's your date of your event? What flavors would you like? My tastings are only for 3 people. What time is your event? Like, I just put it in there. Flat, right off the bat. If they come back and say, well, is it okay if I bring an extra person? I go, yes, that's fine, but the samples I'm giving you won't be any more. Like, I'm not going to give you more samples because you brought a 4th person. Okay? Too many people. It should really only be the bride, the groom, because, I mean, they don't show up really for anything else. That's the one thing they really want to show up for. The bride, the groom, and the wedding planner. That's it. That is it. Unless the mama's paying for it or the daddy's paying for it. Then it's kind of like, yes, bring them along. That could be the 4th person. But limit the amount of people that can show up in your home. Because you don't have chair. I don't have chair. You want to know why we're cake decorators? You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because our dumbasses saw a cake one day and so we can make that. And it will be cheaper if I make this for my son's birthday than it will for me to go off and ask somebody else to do it. I can make that. I can do that. That would look like fun. Oh, look at Duff on TV making this. Oh, look at the cake boss. He making this cake. I could do that. Look at this fondant, right? I can mess with this fondant. You just need some marshmallow. Because our dumbasses thought we could do it. Okay? Which means that we once were broke. Saying, oh, we are way too broke to be paying somebody to make this cake. I'm going to make this cake. Which means you don't have 50 million chairs to be putting everybody in. Because we are broke cake decorators. We don't have 50 million chairs to sit everybody in for a cake tasting. We got these 3 chairs, and the 4th one I'm sitting in. So where grandma gonna sit? Right, she ain't sitting in here. So make sure you limit the amount of people. I'm telling you now, it's easier to limit, so that way it's not too many mouths. And the wedding planner, if she's a legit wedding planner, trust me, she don't want grandma coming either. She want to make sure your uncle ain't coming, all these other people. She want to make sure you making decisions, because that's what she's there for you to make a decision. Let's go. Because she's about what? She's about time and money too. Because she thought one day that she could do this because she needed to plan her son's birthday party, so she got into event decorating because she was broke too. So she understands the concept, okay? We all run in the same circle. We get it. Okay, wait, there was a comment here. There was something. I love a good wedding planner. Me too. Because they know in and out. Make a decision. That's chocolate. That's what you said you like that one. That's the one you want? Okay, that's the one we get. Jelena, that's the one she want, okay? I love a good wedding planner. Periscope. Thank you, Candy Girl. Yes, Periscope. Thank you. 50 million minutes later, it's Periscope. That is the app that I used to go on live on. So anyways, if you guys go back 3 years ago, you'll see that replay, and I'm talking about cake tasting. So you guys can go and check that out too if you want to. So this is like a revamp. Maybe every 3 years I'll do a revamp. Sorry, I'm just rereading what you guys are saying. Alrighty. I already said the flavor part. Make sure they say that they, oh, here, I want chocolate and vanilla. And you go, okay, I'll have chocolate and vanilla, maybe a few other flavors to see what they like. You may want to have a champagne flavor, options. Because wedding cakes typically aren't just one flavor. Sometimes there are several flavors. So maybe you want to have at least 4 options of flavors for them. I would not have 50 million options. And you also want to have take-home information. So make sure you have their goodie bags to go home to. That's already in the presentation. Or goodie bag. Maybe the leftover cakes in the goodie bag. Maybe some paperwork in the goodie bag of information that they want to check out. Business cards. Just make them feel like they came and they're leaving with a gift. Okay? You didn't rock their world, like mess them up, because you want them to hand you money at the end of this conversation, okay? You don't want them going off and saying, okay, well, thank you for the tasting. It was delicious. We'll see you later. No, sweetie. No, come back. I need you to pay me some money. So when they leave and pay you money, you want to give them off a gift. Here you go. Here's your little box for you. Go with God. Enjoy. So make them feel a little special, all right? So, and all these things you can purchase at the dollar store. Don't get expensive. Don't get expensive. Unless you're trying to get expensive and you have that money, then go right ahead. Go and buy all the expensive stuff you want to. But the more money you save, the more money's in your pocket. I'm scratching things off. Okay. Mm, okay, so some things you want to discuss during the tasting. So now we've discussed presentation, prep work, we've discussed those things. Now, in the tasting, the things you want to discuss are obviously cake flavors, duh, the quantity, right? You want to discuss also delivery. Delivery is kind of an important conversation because it may be a venue you've never been to, or maybe a venue you have been to. But either or, you want to make sure you know exactly where you're going and exactly where you're delivering to and who is supposed to sign off on this cake. So I can have me a wedding planner right here, and she's like, okay, great. So when you show up to the venue, I'll be in the venue, so just look for me. Listen, shit don't work that way. Okay? I have a cake in the car. I have a cake in the car. If I'm by myself, that means my cake is sitting in the car by itself. And I have to leave my car on. I'm not going to do that. That's one. Two, I'm not running up and down here looking for no wedding planner. Okay? I'm going to show up at this spot here where this cake has to sit. It has to come from my hands to its final destination. That's in my contract. My hands to its final destination. So I need to make sure you're going to be in this spot when I come and deliver this. So you want to make sure that your wedding planner and you and the bride discuss who is signing off on this cake. Because the bride upstairs, she's busy. Okay? The mother of the bride is upstairs, she getting lit. Okay? The sister of the bride, she up there dealing with her sister. So you want to make sure that you let them know, I need a person who's going to sign off on this cake. To say that I've delivered it, it is to what you wanted, it's perfect, so I need that person. Is it going to be the wedding planner, or is it going to be her assistant? I don't care who, but I need a phone number, and I need a name. And then I need a backup number. Okay? And then also, I need direction. So I know I can look up on my GPS where this location is, but where do I go? Do I go through the front door? Am I about to carry the giant cake through the front door? Is there a back door that I go through? Is there a kitchen I'm supposed to walk in? So you want to find out that information too. It saves you a lot of time because you need that time to set up. Because you're making them pay you for delivery and setup. You're not making them pay you just for delivery. Delivery and setup. That's the setup part. I got to set your cake up. Here, I put your cake down. That was the setup fee. I need to find out where I'm putting it at. So again, time and money, right? You want to find. All right. So the other thing that I make sure that I have my customers do is, well, used to. I don't do wedding cakes anymore. Used to is you don't leave my site. You cannot go nowhere in this tasting until you pay me. That is my goal. I'm obviously not going to shake them to death and be like, give me your money. But I would like them to be pleased and satisfied with this meeting. Right? You love the cake tasting. We've decided on flavors. You're enjoying it. And when they taste the cakes, get up and walk away. Don't be in their face. They try the cakes. Don't be all like, so what you think? That's my grandma's recipe. So you like it? You like this one? Back up. Go in the other room. Just say, okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to, try out the cakes, discuss among yourself, and I'll be back in about 5 or so minutes. Go in the other room. Okay? So that way they can get a clear head of what they want and not feel intimidated. So when you come back, now your next question is, so what did you guys think? Right off the bat, do not wait. Because if you start discussing time, date, payment, and they don't like your cake, and they haven't said it because they don't want to be rude, you've wasted your time. You wasted your money. At that moment, when you come back, okay, so what did you guys think? And be open to criticism. If they don't like it, that's cool. That's fine. But find out right then and there. So say they like it. Great, let's move on to the next step. Let's start talking about design. Because I already have all the other information, delivery, location, all that. I already have. So let's talk about design. Pull out your swatches, think of some concepts, look at your portfolio, look at some cakes that you have on the table, this type of flower here. Do you want to do real flowers? Do you want to do faux flowers? Who's providing the real flowers? Is your florist going to provide me with some of those flowers so that way they'll be the same? Would you like me to go get those flowers so I can add that into the cost? Do you want buttercream or would you like fondant? Here, these are the differences between buttercream and fondant, right? Now, you have to educate your customer because they know what fondant is, but they maybe never tasted it. And they know they like buttercream, but what's the difference between buttercream and whipped cream? There's this child, I've had customers say to me, "Oh, I want the whipped cream," and I'm like, "You don't want the whipped cream. Whipped cream, your cake gonna fall over. You don't want the whipped cream." So I've had to explain to them the difference. Okay, I've had to explain to them that fondant is just basically sugar. And a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. It's just another design aspect. I, quite frankly, hate fondant. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the taste of it. But my children, they eat it, and it's weird. They eat it like it's like delicious. I don't know. Weird. It's strange. And I guess they can taste the sugar. I don't taste the sugar. To me, it just tastes like bleh. I don't like that mushiness. But I tell them that's an option for design. You can see what I can do with fondant. You have the option to peel it off the cake if you don't want to have it. Or if another person doesn't want to have it, that's their choice. Okay? But you can flavor your fondant, you can give them that information. I flavor my fondant with vanilla extract, so it tastes like vanilla. It's delicious. How do I feel about paid and unpaid tastings? Good question, dude. Okay, so my tastings are always paid tastings. I don't do no unpaid tasting. I don't go, "Oh, come for a taste and I'll give you some free samples." Listen, I already told you guys how I couldn't afford more than 4 chairs. I'm not giving y'all some cake for free. That's not happening. Because I'm not baking, no one's baking like a little slice of cake. I'm baking an 8-inch cake so I can cut some slices out of it, right? And not only just one 8-inch, I have to bake maybe 4 because I'm giving them 4 flavors. So I make my customers pay for it, but I also advise them that a portion of this payment that they have given me is going towards their balance of their wedding cake. All right? So that's what I tell them and what I make them believe. And there's a little trick the way that it's done if you took my pricing class. But I let them know that their balance, that this payment here, a portion of it, maybe 15% of it, 20% of it, 30%, whatever you choose, will go towards the final payment, the final balance, right? So that way they don't feel like they came and tasted a cake, placed the order, and they paid for a cake tasting and a whole order. No. I make them feel like, no, girl, you just paid partial. You paid partial for these little samples. Okay? So yeah, that's how I feel about it. If you want to do them free, you can do them free. That's up to you. But again, what am I about? Time and money. You're not gonna waste my time, and you ain't gonna waste my money. Because if they don't like the samples and you done gave some shit away for free, now I'm out of cake and money. So I don't like to do that. Which brings me to a point that I want to talk about. Oh, the top tier of the wedding cake. That's another conversation that you can have during your tasting. The top tier, because I remember the first time I did, I had a wedding consultation and a wedding consultation. It's not a tasting, it's a consultation, so it sounds a little more fancy. The first time I had a wedding consultation, they said, "Oh, what about the top tier?" Which I had no idea what she was talking about. I've never attended a wedding in my entire life at that point, and let alone ever made a wedding cake. And I was like, she's like, "What about the top tier? I get that for free, right?" Like my face must have been like what? Like I was like, and the way she said it, I was so intimidated. I said, "Oh yeah," had no idea, because this was back when I was green, like super green. I didn't know nothing. So a lot of people will say, "Okay, you can have your top tier," because I don't know if you guys know this, but the top tier, brides and grooms like to keep the cake and put it in the freezer and eat it on their 1-year anniversary for good luck. I don't know what that's about. But I've seen what cake does in the freezer after a month, and I wouldn't eat one after a year. But whatever. Go off, sister. That's what you want. But so I let them know that their top tier is free, but really it's included in the price. Okay? That's what I let them know. At the end of the day, this is not, you can't, as a business, let me tell you guys something. As a business, you can't afford to give nothing away for free. And then on top of that, as cake decorators that work from a home, we can't afford to give nothing away for free. Even if you had a brick and mortar, which some of my students have had brick and mortars and they've taken my price. Brick and mortar is a storefront, if you don't know what that is. But they've taken my pricing class. You cannot afford to give anything away for free. You can't. There's somewhere along the way, you have to make sure something has paid for that free shit you just gave away. Okay? Something. Something. So you have to include things in the price and let them know that whether the per slice is the price is up a little bit more in wedding cakes, so that way whatever you're giving away for free or whatever you're discounting is being paid for at the end of the day anyway. Okay, that they're not seeing that line on the bill of the top tier that they're paying the extra $100-something for that. That's already allocated in the rest of the fees that they're paying for. Free top tier. What? Never have I ever. Sounds like a hospital visit to me. Shaking my head. Smart hustle. Oh, include in the price free. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. When I saw when she said that, I was like, yeah, free. Regret that I ever said that. Regret it. And then I figured out how to price myself and how to price my cakes. And then I was like, I can't give this away for free. This costs too much money for me to have made. Even though it's only 6 inches, it costs me way too much money. What else? Oh, like I said, when they leave out of my site, I want to make sure that I've closed the deal. Okay? So now you and I, but me and my client are gonna go over my contract. We're gonna go over it line by line. Here, I'll show you guys what I have on it. Again, you have to be a Patreon to get this, so make sure you become a Patreon so you get my contract. We go over line by line. The one thing I will tell you is on every page, I make them initials every single page. Every page. Every page. Okay? Because ain't no one gonna tell me, well, we didn't talk about that. Bullshit. Yes, we did, because it's on page 4, section 5, part B. Right here, you initial. Okay? Because customers will do that to you too. They will tell you that they don't remember. Don't worry, sweetie. You don't have to remember nothing. Because I made you initial right here where we discussed this. Okay? So we go over the cake contract. We go over details, explanation, ideas, quasi-squazi, contact information. And the one thing I make sure I go over real loud, just like how I'm talking to y'all. I'm going to read this to y'all real loud, is the payment and pricing section so they can understand. So one thing I want to make sure you guys know, I know a lot of you have on your Instagram or on your social media that, oh, pay me a 50% 50% deposit, which is fine. You can have 50% deposit. But a legal term you may want to change that to is a 50% retainer. Retainer is a term that in the court of law cannot be returned. Even if you say non-refundable can be refunded if someone decides to take you to court. Okay? You put in there 50% retainer so they can understand it, and then you also put in parentheses non-refundable. Because some people don't know what that word means. But I like to tell my customers, this is a 50% this 50% retainer right here. That means it's mine. That means you are booking with me, because if you decide not to get this cake at the end of the day, I had to hold this date and turn down other clients. Because you told me you wanted this cake on this day at this time. And I told everybody else no. So I need to be compensated. Okay? So I would have to make sure that would the 50% retainer is in your information, in your contract, on your website, things like that. There's something I just thought about that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, but I can't remember now. Hopefully it'll pop back up. Okay, pricing. Now, wedding cakes are normally paid per slice. That's really what they do in the industry. They pay it per slice. And the reason is because when there are events like this, especially big events, weddings tend to be 10 times more expensive. And this is a great way for wedding cake people or cake people to make a lot of reoccurring money, because birthdays come once a year, and they may not do a birthday cake every year. They may do it every 3 years, every 2 years. Wedding cakes, they're reoccurring. Everybody's always getting married. I mean, there's always birthdays, but not everybody's gonna always want a big birthday cake. Wedding cakes, there is a whole section devoted to wedding cakes during a wedding. Okay, everybody stop. The bride and groom are about to cut a cake, and feed it to each other. So this is important. This is we've carved off an entire section to put the cake right here on this pillar with all these flowers. So it's an important moment that you want to make sure that you're getting paid for it. Okay? So it's normally pay per slice. So when you can figure out your pay per slice, then you're right on it. If you can't figure that out, then I would say make sure you guys take my pricing class next year, because we go over that. I teach you guys how to pay yourself, how to pay per slice, how to pay your bills, all of those things. Okay? Oh no, we collect the money way before the wedding. So if the wedding was today, I would have been collecting that money 2 weeks ago. I don't do that. I'll cut you a check on the day, and I don't take checks. I don't take checks when they're in my face. I don't take checks when they're trying to mail me a check. I don't take no check. You can right here through PayPal, so you have to swipe your card right now. We can do this right now, because if they give you a check, that shit's gonna bounce. And guess who gets stuck with the fee? You do. You get stuck with the fee, and you get snubbed. So I take my money 2 weeks before the actual event. If I don't get my money, then I can't help you, because I have a schedule. My schedule is Monday, I do the grocery shopping. I have to shop for these cake supplies because I'm a at-home baker. I bake in my home, which means I don't bake in bulk. I don't have just cake flour and sugar and tons of stuff for cakes just laying around. I mean, I do. But as a home baker, you don't bake in bulk, right? You bake per order. We're not Publix. We're not Kroger's. We're not whatever grocery store, Sam's Club. We're not them where they just bake cakes and they're just all sitting there on the shelf. I don't have stuff like that. So I have to go and purchase your stuff separately. So Mondays is when I do my shopping. Tuesday is when I decide to start creating whatever toppers and elegant crap that has to go onto this cake. Okay? And I still shop on that day. Because if I have to purchase anything online or if I have to pick up anything from the store, I like to reserve those for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm baking your cake and making your buttercream. Okay? Thursday, I'm assembling that. Your wedding's on Saturday. Thursday, I'm assembling it. Friday, I'm making sure I'm putting all the leftover and finish the assembly on site. Alright? That is how my schedule goes. If you don't give me my money 2 weeks in advance, 1 week for a grace period. The next week, I'm baking your cake. If you don't give me my money, then what am I supposed to do? Because the money you gave me, that 50% retainer, oh, that went in my pocket, sweetie. That's my money. The other 50% retainer, and when I say my money, it's not my money solely. There's things that have to be paid for that. So I don't want you guys to think that, oh, just 50% is going to pay for my cake. No. That's not what I mean. But now the other remaining, now you're telling me to go what? On a wish and a prayer that you're going to give me my money when I see you? That's not going to happen. Mm-mm. We're not, per this contract where you initialed right here, it says to pay me on this date, which was 2 weeks ago. So make sure you have that. And you can also add in there, an extra fee for late payment. Because now that means that you had to rush to go and do some stuff because they didn't make their payment on time. And don't be afraid to advise your client, like, hey, just make sure you pay on this day because you want me to show up for your wedding, right? I mean, I'm sure there's like a fancier way to say that. I mean, that's how it would come out of my mouth is, you want me to come for your wedding and drop this cake off? Okay. So this is the day you gotta make sure you make this payment. All right? Don't miss it. Pay on this day and I'll show up at this time. Okay? So, yes, way before. What else? I think we're on to the last topic, which is finding your customer. It's just a little dance I do every so often. I'm so stupid. I'm literally dumb. I see cake conversation. Hold on. At what point do you collect the money, which I just said. Seriously, though, you should have a snack next to you. Here's your initial right here. A snack? What are we talking about? Sorry, I'm reading what you guys are writing. 2 weeks for minute things. Okay. You should come to Houston. I was in Houston. Did I go to Houston? Well, I I was in Texas. I definitely went to Texas. I can't remember when. Could have been the year before last year, so 2 years ago. But I'll definitely put it in my my list of places to possibly go to if people want me there. My oven don't cut on till you cake is paying for. Boom. Us first. How many flavors do you think are reasonable for a tasting? Four. No more than four. Mm-mm. No more than four. Which is something I went over at the beginning of this, but I'll repeat that. No more than four. Any more than that, that's too many options. I don't like to give a lot of options because I need them to make this decision. I like to tell them, make sure you tell me what two flavors you like, and I will probably add on maybe two more flavors or so. So that way, these are my famous flavors that everybody really loves. Here are the two flavors you guys like, and maybe they want one of your signature flavors that you do. Just to have those options, but I would not go any more than four. Me personally. You want to go 50 million? You go right ahead. But at me, four. Because at the beginning of this, I said, when you guys get here, I need you to see this presentation and make decisions. Because what am I about? Time and money. I don't need my time and I don't need my money wasted. All right, so the last thing. Oh, sorry. No, you don't have to be sorry. It's okay. It's all right. So the last thing we're going to talk about is finding your customer. So a lot of people always say things, which is a little like nails on a chalkboard to me, because when people go, well, how do I get into the wedding industry? What do you mean? Like to me, that concept of asking that question is kind of the same way you got into making cakes for birthday parties. You brought a birthday cake to somebody's birthday and boom, everybody wanted a birthday cake. Word of mouth is always going to be your best seller. Always and forever. Doesn't matter what you're selling. You can be selling a freaking rock in a box, which is what happened back in the 80s, right? Was it the 80s that they were selling those rocks in a box? It was so weird. You know, this cake lady, she made the bomb cakes, child. You want the cake from her. All you need is someone to talk you up. Okay? If you get 3 people in a room to talk you up to 10 people, at least 2 more people are going to order from you. If those 2 people go out to somebody else, at least 1 more person will order from you. And it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So word of mouth is the best way. The best way to get a customer, especially a wedding cake customer. The second best way is if I have now heard through the grapevine that Jelena around the corner make the bomb-ass cakes for weddings, great. And I go to her website, but all I'm seeing is birthday cakes and Christmas cakes and a cake she did that's leaning over. That's not going to work for me. I don't want to order from Jelena around the way. So what I suggest is you make for what you are trying to create for. If you want to create for weddings, then you make a wedding cake. Look at these dummy cakes. Here are dummy cakes that I've created. There is styrofoam dummy cakes in this, covered in fondant. That is a great way to make a cake. And guess who don't know it wasn't for a wedding? Everybody else. You make a cake, you go, oh, this is a beautiful style cake. I've made this cake, and you do trendy things. Trendy things. What is trendy in the wedding seasons right now? Ruffles, the chalkboard. Oh, this is turned around. The chalkboard, ombre effect, right? The ombre effect. All these things are kind of trendy. Gold and everything. Child, we gotta put gold on every, gold here, gold there, gold at the end, gold on the tip. Gold is in style right now, right? Fault line is the new thing. I just did a fault line tutorial yesterday. If anybody wants to see it, I'm just saying. Fault line is the new trend, right? So create cakes like that and make them just 2 tiers. They don't have to be giant cake. They can be 2-tier cakes. You take a good photo of it. It doesn't even have to be an amazing photo. Just take a decent photo of it. I feel like a politician. A decent photo of it and post it on your social media and say today's wedding cake order. Guess who don't know it wasn't a wedding cake? Everybody else who sees the cake on your social media. Don't nobody knows that you didn't deliver this cake. And once you get a good photo of it, all angles, all up in the detail, perfect. You take that fondant off of that cake and you do a whole new cake on it. A whole new cake. So that way now you have 2 wedding cakes in your portfolio. That is how you start building things up. That is what people mean, fake it till you make it. Okay? How in the world are people going to know what you can do, what you're capable of doing for weddings, if you don't have not one wedding cake on your page? Okay? People trust what other people trust. If people say that the McDonald's down the street is good, they're going to go to the McDonald's. That's what happens. If they see a line, they don't have to say anything. They see a line of people say, oh, I'm going to go there because that's where everybody's eating. So people trust what people use, what other people use. So make sure you're doing that. Diamonds, yes. Preach. Am I preaching? No, okay. I'm looking at a video of me dancing. I'm an idiot. I'm a complete. Can you come to New Orleans? Okay. Oh, y'all just requesting me now. Okay. I will put New Orleans on a list of possible places I may visit if enough people want me there. I definitely just told my bestie the other day that we need to go to New Orleans. Literally just said that to her. So now this is twice in 1 week. So maybe that's a sign. I don't know if my best friend can hear me, but maybe that's a sign. Okay, advertise what you want. Yep, just went over that. Another place that you can start putting yourself out there for weddings is wedding cake shows. There's a lot of wedding cake shows. Those are very pricey. They're very pricey. A little bit expensive. And I would say only do that if that is really the avenue you want to focus on, is wedding cakes. If that's the avenue, then please put your money towards that, because guarantee you'll at least get one order from them. And one order is really all you need to set you off in the right direction. They have a lot of good things for the wedding shows that they do. You get to meet other vendors there. You get to find out about a lot of different venues. You meet 1,000 million brides, because people might be showing up to get, mom's next recipe in the cooking group. No, because this is a wedding venue, a wedding show. They're showing up because they're looking for florists. They're looking for wedding cake people. They're looking for DJs. They want you. They have come, thousands of people have come to this event because they were looking specifically for you and what you do. So, at these events, you got to make sure that you are on your A game. That your booth is set up very nicely, not too much and not too little. Make sure you have all the right information ready to gather from these people. Book tastings at these events. So it's a really good place to start at if you really want to get into the wedding cake industry. But again, like I said, it's pricey. To get a booth, it could be anywhere like $800. The cheapest I've seen is $500, and that was maybe 10 years ago. The booth can be $800, and the booth is this big. It's not even all that large. This big, and they give you 2 chairs. You need electricity? Oh, that's an extra $50. Oh, you want Wi-Fi? Girl, that's an extra $50. Everything is always like extra. You need this? That's an extra $50. So it gets a little pricey there, but what they give you is a plethora of information. They'll give you the list, the email list, and names and phone numbers and contact information for everybody who signed up to come to the venue. So it could be like a list of 3,000 people if it's that big of a show. So that way it's 3,000 possible contacts that you have just been given to reach out to. Okay? So I definitely think, hold on, I gotta write something down to make sure I remember to tell you guys. So definitely think about doing cake shows if you're thinking about getting in the wedding industry and being serious about it. The wedding industry is not just I'll wait till wedding season. Every month is wedding season. I don't know why people say something. Oh, wedding season's coming up. People have weddings year round. There's no, what season? Year round, okay? Year round. Spring may be a wedding season that they like to consider, but I've seen winter weddings, summer weddings, fall weddings, like, people have weddings year round. So I would say to really look into that and maybe start saving up for that. Dress shops. Don't be afraid to go, not just to dress shops, but don't be afraid to collaborate with other vendors and going to dress shops or going to DJs and finding out people and venues, going to other venues that they have weddings at and getting on their list of go-to vendors. And normally you can only get on the list of go-to vendors for a venue if you've served that venue several times and maybe even had an introduction to the people who own that venue. Letting them know like, hey, I'm Jelena, which brings me to another topic, talking for yourself. I'm writing this all down. I'm Jelena, I do wedding cakes, here's my business card, I thought I'd bring you guys a couple samples just to have. I'd love to find out how I can get you guys this go-to vendor for cakes here. I know you guys probably have several, but these are what my prices are looking like right now. Because vanilla is a little expensive, that's why this is a little expensive. But here are my prices right now. You let me know how I can, set conversation with people who are in these venues that could help you out. Because we're all in this. We're all in this industry. So if they can help you and you can help them, great. Now I can make sure my brides come to you. You can make sure your brides come to me, and vice versa. Dress shops are really a great place because brides go to dress shops. You have to go to where your client is going. Okay. If you want to do cakes for birthday parties, where are you gonna go? Drop off your business card at schools, daycares, community centers. Because why? Because there's kids there and parents. Right? Just a little bit of idea. And you want to make sure that when you're doing weddings and you want to get serious into weddings, I see the chat moving. I'm going to answer whatever questions or whatever concerns you guys are saying in a second. Get it. Start over. If you are into weddings and this is something serious for you, and I keep stressing that because wedding cakes are expensive. And they take some time and detail. And if you screw up, it's not like a mom going, oh, that's okay. Because sometimes moms, at the moment they may care, but in actuality, they won't give a crap at the end of the day because their kid was happy. That's all they want. They just want to make sure their kid is happy. And they got the good photo. That's it. That is it. The bride, she's only going to have one wedding. Maybe. Only going to have one wedding. This is her only and last chance to happiness. And you have screwed it up by messing up her cake. So what I'm saying, if you are serious about it, that wedding cakes are a serious matter. And to do them, you want to make sure that you are focused on all aspects of wedding cakes. So saying that, I'm going to tell you guys it's better for you to be licensed and make sure you have insurance. Because a lot of venues, just about all of them, want to make sure that any caterer is insured. And I'll give you an example of why. Because say, for example, the wedding bridal people, whoever, the bride and the groom, they hire you not just to do the wedding cake, but to do a sweet table for them. And on this sweet table, you decide to bring gumballs and stack them in a, little cute little jar. Right? And you've provided the table, you've provided all the things on top of this table, and then some schmuck of a child comes by and knocks down all the freaking gumballs. And grandma's walking from across the room and slips and falls on these motherfucking gumballs. The venue does not want to have to pay because grandma fell on a gumball that you brought. So they want to make sure that you are insured. Insurance, and this is something I tell you guys in my pricing class, does not cost a whole heck of a lot of money for business insurance. You can get business insurance through the insurance that you already have. Okay? It doesn't matter, you don't have to have the top notch. You just have to make sure that you are certified and that you are insured for these venues and insured enough to pay for any accidents that may happen. Okay? So that's why I stress to you, if you are serious about this, so I would look into those two things, being certified and having insurance, so when you do go to a venue, those are things the venue is going to want from the bride. It's going to tell the bride, okay, well, I need your cake decorator's insurance, and I need, to make sure that they're certified. Those are some, usually it's just an insurance, not even they're certified. So those are some things that you want to make sure that you take care of. Okay, I was missing, something happened in here. I know this might be a dumb question, but where do I get dummy cakes? I'm just really getting started. Are you really getting, okay, let me ask you this question. Noah Mama. Oh, Noah is Noah's mama. I feel like you're trying to say you're Noah's mama, which is my nephew's name, Noah. Or maybe that's her name. So I apologize if that's your name, Noah Mama. But if you are just getting started in the cake world, period, I would say don't invest in any dummy cake. I would say to invest in real cake and practice with real cake. But if you've done real cakes and you just want dummy cakes, all you have to do is just Google dummy cakes, and a lot of things will pop up. You can get them from like a local cake store. There's several places online that sell them. Amazon sells them. I get mine from. I don't have another website. I think I'm on the internet. It's called Guide Furniture. I believe is what I always. I know it says furniture, and I know there's the word guide in it, but GUIDE and then the word furniture. But if you just Google Guides Furniture Dummy Cakes, the website will come up because that's literally what I put in every time because I can never remember the website. But their dummies are really inexpensive. Thanks. Yes, when I started out, all my wedding cakes I did was word of mouth, no business cards when I started. Right. Oh, which I have two topics that I wanted to discuss. Great idea. But yes, word of mouth is the biggest way you're ever going to get business, even if you don't have business cards, even if you don't have a website. Okay. I ordered from there. You go, Guildcraft. Thank you. It's Guildcraft is the website that I was just trying to say. But they make furniture and they make styrofoam dummies, which is funny because I've been ordering from them for like 8 years. And when I started ordering from them, all they did was make furniture and had like a little section saying that they shaped styrofoam if anybody needed it. So I would order some dummy cakes from them. And I guess maybe everybody else started to do the same thing. And then they had to make a whole separate website just for dummy cakes. But yeah, Guildcraft online. Thank you, Duke. They have all different shapes and sizes. So in other words, no gumballs. Right, no gumballs, child. No gumballs, no little shit that rolls everywhere. Okay. So I wrote down two topics that kind of popped in my head as I was talking. After the tasting that you do, okay, make sure after the tasting, after you got your 50% retainer, you want to make sure, I can't stress enough to you guys, that your customer does not walk away from you without you sealing the deal. That's what this meeting is about. You sealing the deal. Do not leave these people eating this cake for more than 5 or 6 minutes. That's it. Oh, 5, 6, okay. It's been 4 minutes. I'm going back. Because too long is too much time for them to start thinking too much. Well, I mean, this cake is chocolate cake, but didn't Chrissy say that she had a really good chocolate cake that she could make from home? Mama, didn't you say Chrissy knows how to make chocolate cake? We can make this chocolate cake at home. Listen, you leave them for too long, all of a sudden they'll start talking about other friggin' ideas, and we don't need that because I need your money. I need your money. I need your money. So, no more than 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, you talk to them, you get to know them, you seal the deal. That is the purpose of this meeting, sealing the deal. Okay. Don't be afraid when you ask them a question for them to make a decision right here. Okay, don't be afraid of it. Hey, okay, so what did you say you wanted? Blue? And they're like, oh, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna think about it. Okay, but look, I have swatches, girl, so we don't have to think. We can look right here. What color did you want? Blue, right? You want to get all those definite answers right then and there because you want her to walk away feeling confident that you know what you're doing, that you're capable of making the cake of her dreams, and that this is the cake that she wants. Also, the flavor, the shape, the colors, the blah blah blah, and all the shit that you have to put on it. Don't let them leave. So I can't stress that enough. And then when they do leave, because they've paid you your 50% retainer, you send them an email immediately. Okay? Immediately. You already have that email prepped and ready to go. So as they are pulling away from the driveway, you have already hit send because you've already pre-typed up this letter and this email. And basically it's saying, hey, did we name this girl? We're going to call her Michelle. Hey, Michelle, thanks so much hey, Michelle and Douglas, thanks so much for meeting with me today. I had a great time. I hope you guys really appreciate it. In your sample pack, if you haven't noticed, You have some extra cake in there just in case you want to take it home and nibble on it together. And you also have my business card, my contact information, and I've already emailed you a copy of the contract because what you've done now is once they walked out, you ran to the room and you scanned everything in, and then you added it as an attachment. I've already added your contract to this to look over. It's not the final contract, but it's some information for us to look over. And I wanted to make sure I also added the receipt in here. I can't wait to do your wedding cake, and I really appreciate you. XOXO dot 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 love 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 hugs hugs hugs. Boom. Okay? Because you want to make sure they're getting the overall experience. You are asking your customer to pay possibly $1,000 or more for a wedding cake. You want to make sure that they feel like they've gotten their money's worth. Yeah, girl, this top came for free. This 6-inch top up here came for free. Yep, that's free. Yeah, girl, here's your little samples. You getting this tasting for 50% of the tasting fee is gonna go towards your actual your final balance, right? Yeah, girl, here's a little packet you can take home with all these little cute things in the little box, some extra cake and all. Make them feel the experience. Make them feel like they're getting top dollar from you. Make them feel great. So send them a final email the moment they leave, right? So that is one thing that I had. And then, as early as I was talking, it hit me in the head. When it comes to finding your customer, and I said the best way to find your customer is through word of mouth. The first mouth that should be you is your mouth. This one attached to your face. Not your daddy, not your man, not your mama, and not your sister, and no one else either. They can't do the talking for you. I've had students, okay, saying, oh well, I mean, I never told them I was doing cakes. If you don't go hard for yourself, then who gonna go hard for you? Who? I have a best friend, Duke, right here with you. Let me tell you how hard she go for me. She go hard all the time for me. But if I don't go hard for myself, then why is she gonna care? What makes her go hard? Because she sees that this is what I love, this is what I'm doing, I'm determined, I'm on it, I get it done, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I'm all like, I mean, I guess. Well, she gonna be like, I'm not wasting my time with you. Girl, I got other shit to do. If you can't figure out what you're trying to do, then why am I here? Right? This is your business. This is probably one of the biggest things that I teach on my HBIC tour. It is imperative that you speak for yourself. And if you are shy, you're going to have to get out of that shit. Get out of it. Shyness and being a boss won't go together. They don't fit. So you got to get out of it. I've been shy. I was shy up until the age 13. And something happened. And boom. It's like lightning hit me. I think I realized that I was tired of people talking over me and tired of people talking for me. At the end of the day, you are in control of what you do with your business. That's why I said the best day you'll ever have is when you tell your customer no. Remember I said that at the beginning of this? Because that's when you've decided to stand your ground. When a customer comes to me and says, I want this cake, I said, no, we're not going to do this cake. We're going to do my cake. I can take some elements from here, but I'm not going to copy this cake. When your customer tells you, oh, is it okay if I pay you in 2 weeks rather than in 3 weeks, or than in a week? No. No. You can pay me when you decide. When I already told you should be paying me, and we agreed upon that date. When you take control of your business. So when it comes to advertising your business, it should be your mouth. The first words should be coming out of. Because you should be approaching people and saying, hey, how are you? I'm Jelena. I do cakes. I'm from More Cake. Yes, I'm Badass Edible Art. I'm a YouTuber. I had that whole conversation today in the doctor's office. I was telling people that's what I do. These people are doctors. They didn't care. They weren't trying to do no cakes, but I was like, child, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Legit what I said today. So if nobody ever, if there's something you didn't take from this, what we did tonight, take this. If you can't run your business, then who's supposed to run it for you? Who's supposed to do it? If you can't get up every day and do this, then who's supposed to do it for you? My man loved me. He in the room right now watching me live. Okay? Help me get the kids ready for bed. Okay? He's invested his time. He's invested his money in my business. He go hard for me non-stop. But he ain't out here talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all. Okay? Me. I'm here. I'm the one writing down these notes and shit. Not him. A person can only go hard for you for so long. So please, if there's anything, use your mouth before someone else uses it. Because then someone else will be like, oh yeah, girl, she make cookies, she do ice cream, and you like, what the fuck? No, I don't. No, stop talking. I don't do that. I don't do any of those things. Oh, she do cake pops, giving out wrong information. Let your mouth be be the one that's talking. Be the one giving out all the information. Can I get an amen? Do you understand me? Am I making sense to you even a little bit? Yes, Chrissy, seal the dip. Off topic, but these drips are so dope behind you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love my drips. I have a tasting on Tuesday. I'll remember that. Seal the deal. Yes. No gumballs popcorn will do. I'm just rereading what you guys wrote now. My tastings are $20 and I lie about the free topper a year later too. The mouth attached to the face. What's the average cost of a tasting? I can't answer that question for you, and really no one can answer that question for you. And no one can actually answer the question of how much does a cake slice cost, and how much do cakes cost, and how much do I pay myself. Those things are going to be different because I live in Norcross, Georgia. And in Norcross, Georgia, these are the places I shop at. I shop at my local grocery store, which is Publix, Walmart, Home Depot, Michael's, Hobby Lobby if need to. So I shop there, and our tax brackets are different. And on top of that, what it costs me here for eggs is not going to what it's going to cost you there. If I move to Atlanta, the cost of milk may change. So I can't tell you what the average cost of it is. I can only tell you what I used to charge people, and I would charge them at least $60 per tasting, at least. And that's a little bit at the high end, and they're just getting little samples. But from what they're thinking, they're just getting little samples. But at the end of the day, I'm not eating the rest of this motherfucking cake, and I don't have another tasting, so I'm cutting this cake up and giving it to them in their little sample bag. So they're really getting a lot more cake than what they actually really paid for. Okay? But you just need to make sure that whatever you're charging them is money that's filling the cake that you just made. Okay? So if it costs this much for this cake, then that's how much you should charge them. So that way you haven't just said, oh, this cake cost me $60 to make. I'll just charge them $30 because $60 is too much dollars. $30. You're in the hole already. Because at the beginning of this, what did I say, everybody? What do I care about? Time and money. You just screwed yourself with money and time because you baked the cake and given it away for free. So whatever it costs to make is what you should charge. Is my thought. And there should be a base charge because of what you're making should be. It should always be like started off with the base. So if I'm making, for example, a vanilla and chocolate cake, those are basic flavors. But say they wanted like a rum cake, I gotta buy some alcohol for that. That's special. That's gonna cost a little bit more, which I add in there. I let them know that whatever flavors I have that they chose, that's gonna cost a little bit more because if you want a rum cake, you want some cherry champagne shit up in here, oh, you being real fancy. That means you got fancy dollars. So you gonna pay for these cherries and this champagne. That's all that I gotta put up in this cake. So that's my advice. Chrissy, I used to. Who is somebody really Chrissy, or are you just writing the word Chrissy? Oh, there is somebody named Chrissy. I thought you were renaming because I said Chrissy earlier. I think I said Chrissy or something like that. So it's just funny that you say. I used to say that I'd make a free anniversary 4-inch. I've only had one couple actually inquire about it. Oh yeah, I remember you did that. Wow, that's a real good idea. Girl, my customers contact me a week before the anniversary for the free cake. I can talk too. Yes, baby, I know you can talk too. And your peers, yep. Closed mouths don't get fat. Boom. Closed mouths don't get fat. He got you out here cutting and serving cake and dish. That's true. I have gone to several events and had to cut and serve some cake at one of his friends' events. That is true. Don't y'all hate that when you go to you just trying to come to a family function and hang out with the family or hang out with your friends, and these mofos go, "Oh, you the cake lady? I don't know how to cut no cake. I don't know how to cut no cake. Come cut this cake." You've been cutting cake, ma'am, since you were 1 year old. When your mama put that knife in your hand and made you cut this so she could take the silly ass photo of you cutting cake, you 1 year old, you can't even hold nothing up. But now I'm supposed to be cutting your cake. You 30 now. I hate that. Hate it. Hate it. I'm not serving. It was, I'm coming to, you sent me an invitation to be a guest. And I didn't even bake this freaking cake. You got this cake from Publix. And now I have to cut it? I've got stuck like that. Twice. 2 times. Okay? I've gotten stuck cutting cake for people when I was just supposed to show up at an event. And both those times I was pregnant. Do you put the cost of tasting towards the cake? Yes. Yeah, I said that earlier. I do. I put a portion of the tasting fee towards the cake. But when you put it at the end of the day, I haven't lost out on anything because they're under the assumption that a portion of this tasting has gone to their balance of the whole wedding cake, but in really it hasn't. They have paid for the entire thing and I'm not in the hole. So, yes. Do you design the cake for your client during the tasting or before they get there? Neither. I get a design idea of where they are, of what they're looking for. I try to let them know, like, okay, well, even if they don't have a design idea before they show up to the tasting, because I kind of want to have some items in the room that kind of resemble what she's talking about. She's talking about lace. Maybe I want to have different fabrics of lace that I have on hand so she can get an idea of it. Different brooches, because if she's talking about having a brooch on her cake and she doesn't know, some things like that. I really want the customer to bring me some items first or send me in the email, if possible, some of the items that she thinks she would like to resemble on her cake. And I don't create the cake until after I get that 50% retainer. When she give me that money, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna sketch you a cake up and I'll send it to you within this time frame, in 2 to 3, day time or something like that. And the cake sketch, and I also ask them, like, do you want to be surprised, or would you like a glimpse of your cake? I do keep a spot on my contract for some sketches. A little peek. For some sketches on there, but I don't create the whole cake right in front of them. I can't. Me personally, I can't think like that. I have to be by myself. Even when I do my cake sketches live, sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm screwing up, and I don't want them to sit here in front of me and watch me sketch it. So I need time for them to leave me alone. I need to get my element and think and sketch it. So yeah, it's not until after, and then I let them know, like, hey, I'll send you a picture of the sketch in 2 to 3 times. Because, and also you make sure this is for any. It doesn't have to be wedding. If you're gonna do a cake sketch, don't give this cake sketch away to a customer who ain't pay you no money. At least let them pay you the retainer. Because if you give them a sketch, they're like, okay, cool. They're gonna go to someone who's doing it cheaper, and that person is doing it cheaper because they don't know how to price themselves. It's gonna create that same exact cake that you sketched up. But if they pay you already and then take that cake to someone else, you're like, I don't care. All you did was pay me for a drawing I did. The hell do I care who took it to the top of my cake? Because what you're in this business for the money, and that's probably it. Because let me express this to you. I went to art school, and I'm going to tell you guys, like I tell my pricing students in the pricing and business class, and I'm going to tell you guys like the way that my professor told me. You're an artist. You're cool. Yeah, we love flowy shit, and it's fun to design, and it's amazing. I'm just in it for the art. I just want to express myself. That's great, but you can't tell that to people who are sending you bills. Hey, I'm an artist. I'm just expressing myself. I can't pay you right now. That don't work. That's not life. Okay? You got asked for that they come and cut shit off. They pull cords out the wall. Okay? Please believe I've lived that life. The internet people have shown up and pulled the cord out the wall from outside. Okay? Because that's how late we were on a bill back in the day. So, yeah. I don't do nothing until someone pays you. This tasting, this was nothing. This tasting was nothing. $60, nothing. And I'm not giving you my mind for free. You gonna give me some money, and then I can give you this sketch. I hate cutting cake. Do your family feel you should bake cakes for free? Yes, and I don't. The only person I bake a cake for free for is my mama, and that's because she had me, and I came out of her. If I came out of my daddy, he'd be the one I bake my cakes for. But it was my mom, and she gets whatever she wants. And my mom's pretty good about like trying to pay me for ingredients and shit. But other than that, it's just my mom. But she don't ask me for cakes anymore, like, cause she know I don't want to do that. But this is my business. This is what I do now. But yeah, even I mean, no, I don't. I've lived that life. If a stranger want to pay me money, my family can pay me some money. Unless you do one of those things like, oh, I'll gift you the cake so I don't have to bring a birthday present. I mean, I'm good with that too. But I don't. Family be the one though. And it's always the mom. Always the mom. Okay, you just make this cake. It'll be really cheap. How you know? You ain't making the cake. You ain't even gonna be in the kitchen with me. My family know my oven don't cut on those money in my hand. I know that's right. My husband be at work promoting me like crazy, but I found my voice. Good. Someone had the nerve to ask me for 3-tier cake as their gift. The nerve. Listen, child. You say, oh, you want a 3-tier cake for a gift? Great. Let me get $1,000. That's the gift I need. So a lot of people will always try you because they think that because like I said at the beginning, you ain't got no like setup. You just baking cakes in your home. They think that things should be cheaper. And in actuality, it costs more. It costs more to bake from your home. A lot more. Because people who have brick and mortars, like bakeries and storefronts, they're buying their stuff in bulk, right? Which is cheaper at the end of the day. We're buying our stuff price on the shelf price. It's what it's cost on the shelf. We don't buy stuff from bulk. Our life isn't set up that way. We don't have room to put shit everywhere. So people don't understand that it costs more for custom. Custom, you are doing something custom and special for them. You are spending time on this cake. It's not Publix. You don't know what Publix do? Have you ever looked at their cakes? I can't try them because I like the flavor of their vanilla cakes only. But have you ever looked at their decorating? And look what Publix is doing now. What's the last time you went to Publix and been over by the bakery section and you see now they got their fondant cakes, ruffles and stuff like that, marble. Now they're doing what we've put out there. They're doing what we've done because that's what brides want. They want what we're doing. They don't want what Publix got. They want what we have. We are doing something custom. We are spending our time on their intricate cake. That's why we can price so much. That's why this cake costs this much money. So don't let no customer play you. You would definitely try it. 3-tier. Oh, you would definitely do it. Yes. My husband's friend wanted this wedding cake to feed 200 people for $200. I feel like we laugh. And pointed to him, Sam's Club. Yep. No, ma'am. So, with all that being said, because I think I've hit every point that I made on my list here, I appreciate every single one of you guys coming in here tonight and having a chat with us, asking your questions, getting involved in the conversation. Fix It Friday will be coming back to regular scheduled. Not every Friday, obviously, but you know, I will be coming back now that kids are going to start going to school in 3 weeks. Yes. So I'll have more time to do Fix It Fridays and Fake It With Me. If you guys have any more comments or concerns, please make sure you comment down below in the comments, and I will try to answer them as much as I can. And don't forget to head over to my website and click on Patreon and become a patron so that way you can get my cake contract. And this will help you out not just for weddings. It's an overall contract that I give my clients. And also become a Patreon so you can get the exclusive tutorials and pricing guides and all the other information and first dibs on YouTube tutorials. And don't forget to go to my tutorial from yesterday and check that out. Leave a thumbs up, hit subscribe, notify, leave a comment, tell me how you like the cake. Don't forget to use the 20% off coupon code that's in yesterday's tutorial's description on GCC Confection Sprinkles. They're really cute sprinkles. They really are. I had a great time and I really appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys got something from this. I hope my little bit of knowledge of some things that I know, I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about a lot of things. A little bit of knowledge that I had, hopefully it's going to help you out in your future cake tastings and wedding cake industry. And I hope you guys make it. I really do, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Please make sure you always come back and let us know, because we as in me, there's no one else here. We love to know how you guys are doing, and love updates and seeing how you guys are making out. Yay, Fix It Fridays. Yay, school. Thank you. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you. You don't understand how much I truly appreciate you. I couldn't be more happy. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Let them know that if they want any wedding cake tips, that this was Wedding Cake Tips dash 001, and then maybe I'll come back in a couple weeks or a month or so and give out some more wedding cake tips or just some cake tips in general. So. Oh, follow me on Instagram at yes_ma'am_sweets. Am I forgetting anything else? I forget these all the time. Like, I forget to tell you guys that I have an Instagram, to subscribe to the channel, all these things. So, all right, I'll let you guys leave. It's 11:30, so I'm pretty sure you're tired. It's Friday. You guys have cake orders, things to do. Give your kisses, all the hugs and loves to your children. I love you so much, all of you. So hugs and kisses directly to you. I feel like I said that sentence and it didn't make sense. Give kisses to you and hugs to your children, because all the things you probably have to do this weekend is my point. But hugs and love to you from me, and